lie to the people.
I'm not lying about, but it's not coming through.
I'm going live on.
All right, Mike, I need you to give me some volumes here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why is that interesting? Why is that interesting? What?
Why is that
You
interesting?
Supposed to be like easy or something. Hey everyone, we are working through some technical
You're playing Mixer back, so we can all hear it.
like or something. Hey everyone, we are working through some technical difficulties.
Steve's stuck in a time loop.
Episode 100, we got this figured out.
Get this figured out. That's funny.
Episode 100, we get this.
I mean, really, then now it should be working just fine.
Sounds
All
like
right.
this.
Do we have anyone in chat that can help us confirm that everything sounds perfect? I'm going to mute this, and that means everyone should be able to hear us just fine. So, Devon, who do you got over there on YouTube?
Nobody yet.
They've all abandoned us.
Like, well, they got to episode 100. Let's not watch anymore.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, if we make an episode,
Well, they got to episode 100. Let's not watch anymore.
if we
And
can,
why do we get all the echo? Where's that coming from?
that's coming from my side. Echo is always coming from my side. That is like always where the echo shall be, just because I've got. So there's Alaska over on Mixer. So Alaska, let's see, Devon and Mike, I need you guys to talk. Alaska will confirm that you guys are coming in through loud and clear.
Alaska, are we coming in loud and clear?
I don't know.
This
Are
is
we?
a question that we have for you. Would you please help us out and let us know if we are loud and clear? Because if not, we will fix it because we are here for you.
It says loud and clear, and your voice is annoying.
I don't know about that.
I was toying with the
last
idea of this
part.
being my last episode, but I think that confirmed it.
I didn't say it. Alaska did. He actually didn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Oh, come on now, Mike. Okay, so I think we're good to go. We're going to take some volume checks, and then we'll get started, and JD will join us here in a little bit, all right? Sound good?
Sounds good.
And we'll say a farewell to Mike. A fond farewell. All right. So sound check for the Freelancer Codex, episode 100 with Mike.
This is Mike.
With Devon.
This is Devon.
And JD in the future.
Welcome to the weekly episode of the Freelancer.
All right, see what this sounds like. So sound check for the Freelancer Codex, episode 100
JD
with
has
Mike.
arrived.
This is Mike.
With Devon.
This is Devon.
And JD in the future.
Welcome to the weekly.
Hey, JD is here in the future.
We're in the future. Welcome everyone that's paying attention. We're in the future. Give me 1 second here. I've got something that is going super funky.
Steven did an update on the computers, so
Yeah.
It's
For
really
some reason,
frustrating
it
that
changes
every time you
everything.
do that.
So
It is frustrating.
this setup is a bit different. I'm still working it out, but can you guys hear me okay?
No.
Yep, in loud and clear.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. All right.
Loud and clear. Oh, what did I do? Crap. I messed the whole thing up.
Oh,
Okay.
Mike, this is embarrassing. We're wearing the same shirt.
pretty.
That's actually impossible.
Is-
Because my shirt is here and your shirt is there.
But I mean, it's almost the same shirt.
Almost. I'll take what I can get.
What are you taking? I don't understand.
They're wearing like the same color shirts, button up, polo style
Right.
shirt.
I'm going to hit the record button before we continue to have this conversation.
Welcome to the weekly episode of the Freelancer Codex podcast. Your host, Steven, and co-hosts Mike, Devon, and JD are all set. Join us and tweet your questions at Freelancer Codex. Find us on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or send emails to freelancercodex@gmail.com. Strap into your javelins and let's drop in.
Welcome, freelancers. We are strapping in, dropping in for the 100th time. This is the Freelancer Codex podcast, episode 100. This, of all the special podcasts we have had, this is the most special because we are now in triple digits. And that is amazing that we've made it this far. Amazing that we haven't kicked Mike off the show yet. Amazing that Mike hasn't quit the show yet. And I don't even know what else is amazing about it. But hey,
It's amazing because JD is back after a little while. That's amazing.
Hey.
Oh, I thought we kicked JD off.
No.
Did we? Oh man, did I miss that memo?
Well, you're back. So JD, welcome back. Mike, Devon, JD, I'm glad to be with you for the 100th time. It's like a pretty huge milestone. I'm excited for us to be here. I'm excited to talk some more about Anthem and just to kind of focus on maybe take a little looking back on what we've accomplished in these last 100 episodes. I mean, I know like BioWare like put out the game, but I mean, we showed up and we talked about it like 100 times. That's got to be worth something, right? Got to be worth something. Mike, is it worth anything?
I enjoy doing this. I enjoy meeting every week. I enjoy having the conversations, sometimes the difficult ones that need to be had, and this has been fun. It's really surprising that we've made it to 100. There were some lulls there in the middle, and there were some times where the producers were at each other's throats thinking, how is this going to turn out? But we made it, and we've had people stick with us, which is awesome. Huge shout out to everybody in the Discord, everybody who watches weekly on YouTube and Mixer, those who reach out on the Twitter. We appreciate you all. This is big for all of us. So everyone, welcome to Freelancer Codex 100. If you want to get a tweet in there, use that hashtag, and maybe we'll make it trend. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened, right?
That's true. Stranger things have happened. Episode 100. JD, you are back. Did you want to give us an update to let the people know why you were gone or what happened, or do you just want to?
I can be very brief and I'll spare most of the details. Basically, August 1st, my dad got hospitalized. He had a subdural hematoma. He only really came out of his coma in the last week or so. And actually, today is actually a pretty good day because he spoke his first words in over 3 weeks today. He said hello, Lucy, which is my mom's nickname. So he's slowly coming back. We're probably going to be bringing him home soon. We're going to be caring for him. I start getting trained to take care of him tomorrow. And, I am just really happy that my dad's going to be around for a little while longer and hopefully long enough to see my brother's wedding in June. So I'm very excited for that.
Well, we're glad to hear that things are
Awesome.
doing better, JD, and we're glad to have you back on the Codex. So, and thanks, like Mike said, thanks for everyone that's hanging out with us in the chat. We see Alaska Jules and Duchess is over there hanging out with us. So thanks for being here, everybody. So a couple things to get started. Let's see, if you want to send in a voicemail or if you want to send in an email, if you have comments, questions, concerns, critiques, you can do that by sending an email to the freelancercodex@gmail.com, or you can call us and leave us a voicemail at 505-386-7917. So you can do that there. And we actually have 2 new bosses to celebrate. We're going to celebrate our bosses here on the Freelancer Codex. So Jeffrey and Nathan have joined.
Fillion?
Yes, Nathan Fillion has joined. No, it's not Nathan. I mean, it could be Nathan Fillion for all I know. I mean, who knows? So Jeffrey and Nathan have joined us as bosses. They get to tell us what to do. And you know what? I'm really excited because none of our bosses have been like complaining or telling us what to do lately. So that's kind of nice. We appreciate you all. We've got one of our bosses in the chat right now. Julius is hanging out in the chat with us, also one of our bosses. So we appreciate everyone that takes the time and takes the effort and, and supports us in that way on patreon.com/freelancercodex. It means a ton to us. It helps us a lot. And it surprises me every time someone signs up because I'm like, I can't believe you find the value in what we do. And
Giving them the hard sell, are you, Steven?
no, I mean, this is like you're giving money to support strangers that just talk about about a game that we all love, and it just blows my mind that people are willing to do that and find value in the things that we do. I mean, where else can you find that type of value? If you pay $1 a month, 25 cents, you can hear a couple people talk for about an hour about a game, and get mad at each other and yell at each other and make bad jokes. So yeah, it's probably the best value in podcasting you could ever have. So we appreciate everyone.
Mhm.
We also, our Switch Lite giveaway is ending today so it'll end today at midnight. There's a link on our Twitter account. So if you go to @Freelancer Codex, there's a link to be put in a drawing to win a Switch Lite that comes out on the 20th of September. So good luck to everyone that puts in for that. We'll contact you at midnight after I wake up and I find out who won. We'll figure out how to get that to you, because I think the Switch will be perfect for any freelancer that's out in the field. You want to fight Ursix, you get done shooting an Ursix or some Scar, you just want to play some game, bam, you bust out the Switch Lite, you're good to go. Longer battery life, all that stuff. Joy-Cons don't break, hopefully. You're good to go.
Hopefully.
Join that contest. Get tweet and what's it called? Follow and retweet. Get your
You
chances.
can also follow us on Mixer, and you can. There's one other thing you can do to earn some points. I don't really remember. It's been a long time since I set that up.
Nice.
But yeah, we're excited for that. We're excited, and we would like to greet. Yeah, we like to say hi to all the new followers that are tuning into the show for the first time. This is episode 100, so it's a great time to start. All right, so let's get into news. We're going to talk about news, and then we're going to talk about episode 100, and we're going to get into the celebratory stuff of this show. So first of all, we got the 4th event, Castle Kelric. What we just call it the symbols, because the puzzle is you pick up a bunch of D20s, and you have to put them into some receptacles that match the symbols to open some doors and to open the shield around the crystal, right?
That do the thing that moves the other thing, and then it changes this thing. Lots of
Exactly.
steps.
You have to pick up a bunch of the D20s. You have to move them around, put them in the right spot at the right time, and it opens up the crystal in order to continue on in the event. This, more than any other puzzle that we've had, has been causing a lot of people trouble on the interwebs and on Reddit, just because this one requires a lot more communication than the other ones. Usually, you're able to kind of you can figure out what other people are doing with the other puzzles, whether it's putting pylons down, putting echoes in receptacles. Over at the beach, you just have to shoot a bunch of Dominion, and then you're done with that one. So those are fairly simple, fairly straightforward. I think this one probably brings the most complexity into the game. Devon, what do you think? Do you think this is too hard to complete for random groups that cannot communicate? Or do you think it's just like the right amount of difficulty for people?
No, I don't think it's too hard. I mean, you can solo it, so I mean, as long as if you just have one person doing the puzzle, everybody else can kill the ads. It's not that bad. I mean, it's really just picking it up, looking for a symbol, and finding the other part, the same one, and putting the, like you said, the D20 in that spot, and then rinse and repeat.
So you don't think it's too hard? I mean, if someone wants to come, air quotes, try to help you do that.
Oh yeah, no. If they try to help you, it really screws it up. So
No, it's great. It's great. It's super cool. You can
if
do it
you
on your
just
own.
solo it,
Do you-
it's fine. No,
What if you have someone else on your team? Oh no, then you can't do it. Forget it. Just wipe.
no. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not talking, for sure, it's definitely difficult. I understand what you're saying. I was trying to put a positive spin on it, but I understand.
Devin, obviously you don't know what we do here at the Codex.
Are we not the echo chamber of positivity?
You shut your mouth.
Of course. What else would it be?
But yeah, no, I mean it can certainly be difficult, and even we experienced it in the PTS when people would join us, and they're like, "Oh, let me grab this one." And you're like, "Crap, where did he put that other one? What happened to it?" And,
You're like, where did it go?
yeah, so like what we developed was just you have one person doing that, or when other times when I've played with other people, I'm like, "Okay, this is where the symbol is. I'm standing right here. Come over to me. I'm shooting the ads, and you don't grab them." So you just have the one person moving the dice around, or the whatever you want to call them. They have an actual name in the game, but I can't remember what it is. But
Steve knows.
doodads.
I just call it the D20, so that's what I call
because
it.
they're D20 dice.
He
But,
doesn't know.
It's actually a
Um,
D12, but I just call it a
D.
D20.
Oh, okay. See,
Yeah,
there you
no,
Nice.
I mean,
go.
makes sense.
But yeah. So I mean, that's the easiest thing, having one person moving around, because they remember what. Hopefully, they'll remember what when they moved it. Type of thing. So.
I mean, this is a really difficult puzzle if you have a bunch of people trying to do it at the same time. I also think there's been a lot of talk about, it being too hard, but like this might be an unpopular opinion,
Maybe
but
get good.
because of the way that
I don't know.
Cataclysm is designed, if you are going in with a random group, you can just skip this event. I
Yep.
mean, there's nothing saying that you
Don't have
have
to
to
do it.
complete it. There are
Or-
much easier ones
yeah.
to complete. I have noticed as I've been doing runs with random people. Right now, the unofficial pattern that people go in is they'll go do the pylons and then they'll go over to the echo plates. So I will run with them. I'll go do the pylons. They'll leave to go do the echo plates. I'll go do the time gates, finish that puzzle before they finish the echo plates for some reason. And then I'll just move over to the symbols and then, probably be halfway done with that before anyone else shows up. And by the time, they see that you're kind of in a groove, I've been left alone to finish that puzzle. But most of the time you can finish it on your own. If they go and do like the normal quote unquote run that people have been doing all the time, it seems like that's just kind of the pattern that people fall into, whether that's because a YouTube video told them or that's just how they learned. That's generally the pattern. So if you kind of break that pattern, you can go and get these done. GM3, it's a little bit harder to do the symbols as the storm because you're the only one in there and you're just running around with a bunch of ads everywhere, and there's not enough time to kill everything, so that your mileage may vary depending on what components you have and what kind of shields and armor stats you have. But I mean, like I said, you can just skip this thing, and you know what? You can come back to it later or whatever. Just skip it if you're not with a good group, and then go kill Vera. Make sure you get your crystals instead of spending your time here and wasting it if you can't complete it. Because I think with a full group of 4 people, like this event, it kind of separates random groups from people that are running it competitively, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yeah.
really have to be communicating to get this one done. You have to be communicating, and you know what? Like if you're going to push the leaderboards, I think that kind of it requires you running in a group with at least 3 people that know what they're doing, that are communicating. And this just kind of is one of those. It's almost like a communication check for teams. If you're communicating well, you can do it. If not, you can still do it, but you probably just won't do it as well. So,
As well.
JD, have you had experience with this on Xbox?
Yes, I got to try it out a couple of times yesterday. So far, I kind of enjoy it. I like the kind of puzzle element. I like that it's based off of a mechanic that we've already seen in the campaign. That being said, I usually do it one of 2 ways, which is if the group of randoms that I'm playing with doesn't go for it, then I will usually split off from the group and handle it myself. Or if they do go and do it, I usually just go and handle Diana's landing by myself, it works out fine, especially when you're in a big beefy Colossus. But it's I'm really enjoying it so far. I have no idea what they're going to be adding next week. I'm sure you guys probably do, but
We do.
oh yes, but I'm very excited to see what they add for it, and still a little disappointed that there are still some people on the echo plates who you basically have to fight sometimes because they just take all the echoes and like out of the underwater area. Like that still bothers me that there are people that are still doing that.
Are they're taking them out before you can go get the last echo? Is that
Yeah.
what's?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah. And whenever I come up across that, I just, all right, I'm gonna go kill Vera. See you later. Because I mean, at that point, that the run isn't gonna go that great. If that first puzzle, if you're having problems, go collect some orbs, go get some time runes, get that wrap that you can get from getting that, and then go kill Vera, get some crystals, and move on to the next one. That's probably the best thing I've done. So I guess we enjoy ranking things, right? So Devon, how would you rank the puzzle so far? Like in like your favorite puzzle to your least favorite puzzle, how do you rank them with the 4 that we.
The
with
4 that
5
we have, yeah, none of these 4 are my favorite, but yeah. So the 4 that we have. So you want me to rank 1 through 4?
Yep.
I mean, I would put the castle number 4 last. I don't really care for it. I didn't really do most of the time. I was just like, whatever. I'll go kill ads, or I'll go find the other stuff that was like, it's not really my job per se in any of the runs that I was doing to worry about the puzzle one. I can do it. It's not a problem. But let's see. Ooh, that's another good one, but it's not there yet. The pylons.
Yeah.
Pylons are, it's not bad. I'll put the pylons as 3. I really like the time gates, so I'll put that number 1. And what does that leave us with?
Echoes.
Echo plates. Yeah, that one's pretty fun. The only thing I don't like about that is, again, with randoms, sometimes even people that you're playing with, when they don't grab the echoes, and leave them down there, and you're like, I thought you had the echo. I don't know. But, it's just
So
getting
what-
used to playing with each other when you're trying to play in a group that you actually communicate with.
Yeah. So what makes the echo like the time gates your favorite? Because that one to me, like that one's actually my least favorite because it really is just wait around, move, put it in, then move on. There's not like a puzzle. It's just wait around.
I just thought it was like the funnest from my experience because Mike and I were just messing around with it, trying to figure it out, like what caused them to move and different things. And so it's just funny, just from personal experience with like what we thought actually did something was not what happened, and so it's just dumb. And so I like it because it's just reminds me of funny times when you're trying to figure things out, and just triggers that memory of, hey, we tried to figure this out and it didn't work the way we thought it did, but we still had a good time playing it. And so I just, it is like it is. It's super easy, and so
You like the nostalgia aspect of it, Mike. How do you
Yes.
rank these?
So even in the PTS, I haven't played the castle. I didn't play the castle very much, and when I did, I didn't understand what we were doing. Like I knew it was put stuff here, but I couldn't. I didn't ever get in at the beginning of that puzzle to understand where the items started and where they needed to end up. And I haven't played that one very much. I haven't had a chance to play it since the update. So I'm going to put that one 4 just by default. The rest I like. They're fine. Ooh, I actually think the beach is probably my least favorite. I'm going to put that one down as 4 because I don't like the beach.
Just 'cause it demands?
Just because
The Dominion?
it's I think that plus we have tried doing it on our hardest difficulty, and it just takes time and it takes forever, and it's the same stuff. Kill these guys, kill some more, and then kill some more guys until the right guy appears. It doesn't seem like it's a puzzle encounter more than it's just a fighting encounter, and I don't know how well balanced it is. So I'll put that one number 4. I'll do castle number 3. The time gains aren't terrible. So I'll just put that number 2, and then the pylons. I don't think there's one puzzle that's better than all the others. I think they offer different things. So I think that's why I rated them the way that I did.
Very cool. I enjoy your rating because like you talking about the beach. It's like, yeah, I guess it is just killing people. It really is just like it's another DPS check, I guess. If you can do enough damage in this amount of time, you can clear that event quickly. And if you can't do enough damage, then that
there's
one
5, right?
slow you down. So currently we have access to, we have the pylons, we have the echoes, we have the time gates, we have the beach, and we have the symbols. So we have 5 of them.
Yeah. So I was like,
Oh,
because I didn't even mention the Dominion one in mine.
You didn't. You forgot it. And
Yeah.
I think
I mean, it's a
the echoes are
forgettable
gonna-
experience, right?
Yeah,
So-
the echoes are right there in the middle for me since I forgot to do that. It's just kind of right in the middle for me. They're not terrible, but
Yeah. And
I
I
just
actually like the echo plates the most because because the storm you can just do it by yourself. You don't even need, someone to go up there and help you. But it seems like the right amount of puzzle and the right amount of working on ads that it doesn't feel like you're not like if it feels like everyone can have a role in that situation, I guess. But I guess that could be said for the same for the symbols, right? Someone's got to shoot the people and then someone's got to collect the thing. So I don't know. I like the Echo. I like the Echoes the best. It just seems like a good blend of puzzle and traversal and being where you need to be at all times. So it'll be interesting to see what the other ones do to shake up how people are making these runs. If they decide to clear everything out, or if they decide to skip some of them and move on. I imagine the best teams will probably just complete everything that they can and then go and do the puzzle collection or the orb collection towards the end. JD, do you have a ranking of which ones you prefer or which ones you do not like?
So I think the ones that I'm going to rank the lowest are probably the ones that you can do by yourself, because I really like it when, like, even though, like, you know, I usually play with randoms, it's nice to have a situation where, you know, it really encourages you know, teamwork. So, like, probably bottom of the list, probably the castle. After that, Time Gates, and then Diana's Landing, and then after that, shoot, what was the other one? Yeah, the pylons, and then the echo plates. Because I didn't realize it at first. The first couple times I played the pylons, but you do really kind of need a second person hitting those pylons. Otherwise, they are just going to keep coming back up. So
I mean, if
really
you
like
use
how
a lesser javelin than a interceptor, then yes.
Oh,
But
of course, yes. What with my big hulking rear end of a colossus, yeah. No, it's definitely, the pylons are very straightforward, and I like how basic and simple it is. It doesn't need to be super complicated. I honestly think that the castle loses a little bit of its enjoyment because of how complicated it is. But that's why the Diana's Landing is really in the middle for me, because it's just like, yeah, it's just simple killing, but the combat is really fun in Anthem, and it's like kind of what I'm looking for a lot of the time in Anthem, which is just a big fight, and it kind of delivers on that front, especially like when you're just in there by yourself. It really just feels like you're a barbarian just kind of going through an army, and it's so much fun. I know there's like no intellectualism behind it, but it's just like good to smash stuff.
But hey,
So,
you're a Colossus main, so I mean that makes
yeah.
sense, right? So, all right,
Yeah.
chat. You tell us what your favorite one is. You can tell us what your favorite one is as we move on. Okay, so they're probably going to nerf the Steam Vent, which is one of the new gear pieces from the Storm, because that does an insane amount of damage. On Grandmaster 3, you can probably drop brutes with one shot if you got the right inscriptions on it. If not, you're pretty close. So I'm guessing that'll be nerfed sometime in the future, unfortunately, for all you Storm players. All right. Oh, and then Devon, how do you spawn the Valkyrie in the Symbols event? What's the trick?
I don't even remember off the top of my head. It's been so long.
I'll tell you.
Okay, go ahead, tell me.
So there are actually two symbols like hidden up,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe, on like the southeast wall. You just have to match those two symbols that don't correlate to one of the others on the ground, on the crystal, or the doors, and then the Valkyrie will spawn.
Yeah,
So this is
it's
actually
up really high. Yeah, the symbols are up really high.
The symbols are up really high, but this is actually one of the events that you can spawn the Valkyrie while you still have the big multiplier. So I'm guessing this will be one of those that you can complete and I'll have to try this. I'm pretty sure this is correct, but you can complete the event and then you can come back
later.
and come back later. But
I don't
really,
know
no,
if-
you wouldn't want to do that because the bubble would be broken. So you would want to get the Valkyrie first while you have that multiplier and then move on. So.
Yep.
I mean, but Grandmaster 3 Valkyries are not that easy to take down unless you have some sweet gear. Okay, so let us move on. That is the news that we have had this week. Other than that, there's not much coming out. They have not said anything about the bugs that have been introduced by adding this event. There are instances that people have been running into. I've run into these as well, where the D20s are disappearing while you're holding them, while you're trying to put them into the receptacles, they disappear. Bombs are not spawning, and bombs are disappearing. And there are reports of echoes not being able to be placed into receptacles either.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything on Twitter or anything else. Devon, have you heard any news or any movement on these? Have you been experiencing these also?
Yeah, so I've had quite a few of the errors, but I haven't seen any reports. So I mean, the best thing we can do is just go in and put them on the EA website on the forum for feedback and reporting. But I mean, even last week we were having problems with the echoes when we were playing. Was it last week or this week when we were playing with Alaska? Was it last
That
week?
was this week, wasn't it? Didn't we run on Monday?
Yeah, it was Monday we ran.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we ran Monday, but
I thought we did.
yeah, but yes, I mean we were both Alaska and I were working on the echoes, right, and trying to go pick them up from underwater, and I would go through them, and then they would just disappear, like. We'd go back out, and then we were going to close the door and grab the other echoes, and then one of them would just disappear, and then we had to wait till it would respawn back in the middle, and then go back through and pick it up.
And it takes quite a bit of time. It's not a short time to wait for him to respawn.
Yeah, you and Mike were making fun of us multiple times.
We were wondering where you were because I think we had
Because it happened both times we played that night. You know, when we
don't
ran it
make
twice,
fun of
you guys were like,
guys.
"What's wrong with you guys?" And then we came over to help you guys because you guys kept dying on yours. So I mean,
I don't remember that
It was
part.
a bug.
I mean, at least Mike dies all the time because he plays as a ranger. So
Well, so there's a new bug out there. You guys might not know.
a new
this.
bug. It's been around
There
since
is.
the game launched.
They take the strongest javelin and the best player down. And they can tell who it is. And so I'm
Fighting
always
words.
going down, and
Fighting
I'm always needing
words.
revives. They're like, "No, you're the best javelin. We have to handicap this somehow." And I'm like, "Okay."
And that
So
actually
that's
makes
what you're
a lot
gonna
of sense.
do.
Do that because they really don't want you progressing and getting crystals. So if they down the person that has the best chance of completing the event,
Yeah.
then it'll make it.
Sarcasm.
I
You
mean-
can't tell.
So there you
Right.
go. And it
I
is
mean-
always me because obviously strongest
Agreed.
Avenger.
Alright.
but
So
whatever.
I mean, the most athletic.
let's talk about episode 100. Okay,
Let's talk about
that's
it.
all the news that we have. We'll discuss a couple more things about the Cataclysm, but we wanted to say a big thank you to our community. I know we have already said it before on this episode, but
It's worth repeating.
it is worth repeating, and I'll repeat it and I'll give a little story. So this week, like in particular for me, was it was a rough week Anthem wise. Like there was some weird things that went on that just had me like super down about the game and interactions and certain other things that went on that I won't go into too many details, that it just left like a I don't know
Sour
if
taste.
I don't know if I want to do this week. I don't know if I want to
Hmm.
talk about it this week. And this is the first time like I've actually really felt that since we started the show. Most of the time I'm like, all right, let's record, let's talk. And let's do this because I like hearing the sound of Devon's voice for some reason.
It's true.
But this week I was just like, I
That
don't
was weird.
really want to do this. But as like we've been talking with the community on Discord, we've have patrons coming in and just like thinking that okay, people actually appreciate what you do. They want to hear your thoughts. You know, it makes a huge difference having a community behind you, like cheering you on. So thank you to the community for being here for the last 2 years, for encouraging us and just being good people in our Discord, encouraging each other, like our freelancer fitness, section that we have in our Discord is it's like a great idea. There's great support, people cheering people on that, we've never met, we've never seen each other, but the few interactions that we've had, it makes you feel like you're a tiny little family just wanting the best for people. And that makes a huge difference. And it's like, you know what, with the community behind us, like we can do this. You can have a crappy day. You can have, bad interactions that leave a bad taste in your mouth. But when you have a group of people behind you, like, you can do it. And it makes a huge difference. So thank you to the community for everything that you do. You know what we should do? We should play a voicemail from one of our community members. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
This is a voicemail we got from Phaedron for episode 100 here. We'll embarrass Phaedron.
Hey, what's up, Freelancer Codex? This is Phaedron here, and I just wanted to call and wish you guys, not wish you, I was about to say wish you a happy birthday. Oh, that's right. I want to congratulate you guys on your 100th episode. And to do that, I have my family here. Yay, 100! Woo! So that's my wife, and then our little newborn won't say anything, but say something, buddy. I stuck the microphone up into his mouth so you could hear his breathing, but he is excited. I just wanted to say congrats on 100 episodes. That's a big milestone, and you guys have been great to keep the community informed on all things Anthem. So anyway. Oh, there he goes. Awesome. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and hopefully the episode goes well. Later.
I think the baby just said he wanted to sign up to become a patron of the show. I think that's what the baby.
That's what I heard.
You and your family. I mean, we appreciate it. And anyone else that wants to send in a voicemail at any time on the show, they can do that, of course, at 505-386-7917. And we really appreciate. I mean, we just. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Mike, what else do you say? What can you think about such men?
What can you say? So we started this thing after EA, after E3 2017, right?
Yep.
Steve called us in a cold sweat, and he was like, "Guys, we've got to do something."
I had an idea to bring together.
And he did, and he got us together, and we were like, "Okay, let's go for it. Let's try it. I mean, we'll see what this turns into. It might just be us talking to each other for a while, and we'll see what happens." And then it turned into what it turned into, and 100 episodes later, and with all the Twitter followers and those who watch on YouTube and those who watch on Mixer, we never expected what this has turned into, and we never expected that the things that we would say, people would be like, "Oh yeah, I believe in that. I agree with that." And we've got great Discord managers, Cags and Rusted. We've got great people in the Discord. It's just, I mean, it really is like without getting all mushy or whatever, but we appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Just let it out.
And it's fun. I mean, it's been fun. It's been a ride. There's been EA plays in there. There's been interviews with developers and people that we never ever would have the chance to talk to had we not decided that this is something that we were going to do. And now we're doing it. And we've talked to some awesome people, made some friends, probably some enemies.
Many enemies.
Yeah, but you know what? They can. Anyway, we just appreciate you. And we're going to continue talking about Anthem. We're going to continue playing Anthem. We're going to continue trying to make the game better and voicing the things that we think ought to be changed and praising the things that we think are being done good. And we're going to do it in such a way that hopefully invites thought and doesn't just ostracize and make people think that we're just the guys that want all the loot or the guys that want the easiest crit path or whatever. Like, we want to make the game challenging. We want to be in there for the long haul, and we have some ideas. We've played, between the four of us, we've played a bunch of games, and we think that we have some things to offer. So we're going to continue going, and we're going to continue plugging along. We've got some ideas of things in the works, things coming up. We mentioned that a couple episodes ago. So, I mean, stick with us and reach out. We want you calling in. We want a bigger part of our community on our show. So reach out and let us know what you think. Give us your ideas. Because Steven has a lot of ideas and he just always talks about them, and we need other people's opinions. So.
Any idea I have. Devon, JD, do you guys want to say anything before I go on and start ranting? Because I've got like this epic rant prepared. But if you guys have something to say about community, we can wait.
I'll let JD go first. Go ahead, JD.
Right.
Well, I definitely have something to say because, especially these last 3 weeks, it's been incredibly difficult. And I already knew we had an awesome community on the Discord and then on Twitter and all the conversations that we have here and there. And seeing somebody that you probably considered the strongest man go down pretty hard was very rough. And having my family go through all of that and having me go through all of that and everything. Just, I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out to me either on Twitter or privately on Discord, and especially to you three guys as well, for the well wishes and the support, the thoughts, the prayers, all of it. Because we there's a lot of stuff that happened in the last few weeks. Mike, Devon, and Steve are aware of a good chunk of it, but it really meant a lot to have everybody's support of just random strangers, especially when all I really do is just, get my 350-pound rear into a chair and just, talk for maybe, 10 minutes out of a hour stream. But I still appreciate it. Really gave me a lot of hope and reminded me that, even though some of the people around me may not be so good, that there are good people out there. And I'm glad that our work, our podcast brings them all into one place and just makes the world, or at least a small part of it, just collaboratively better.
Well said, JD. We appreciate it. We're glad to have you back. And now, Devon, follow that up, jerk.
Yeah, thanks a lot, JD. Thanks.
What do you got, huh?
JD,
What
you're
can I say?
important.
Your dad was a
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, it is. I mean, it's great to think about. I kind of think about video games in general, and all the times where people are like, "Oh, you still play video games?" Or I was like, "Oh, you're an adult. You play that stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, get over it," But it's just been so cool over the last 2 years, building, seeing this community come together and seeing all the people that just continue to come there, and being able to chat with people from all around the world with the same interests, and being super supportive, as JD has said and as Stephen and Mike have said, and just it really just amazes me whenever I think about it, and the opportunities that we have had, the people we have met, whether it's supporters and members of the Discord and community, or developers, and going to events. It's just been an amazing ride for the last 2 years, and I'm super grateful for it, and I'm looking forward to what's coming in the future. And really, I mean, it's all the community. I mean, I guess there's a little bit from us. We do some stuff, but I mean, really, what keeps us going, like Stephen said, is the community and their positivity and their motivation that they give to us. As we see them experience stuff, and as we chat with them, they can kind of help us when sometimes we're a little too close to the material, or a little too close to things that we know, or and it kind of helps me stay grounded and focus on the game, and still be able to have fun and just enjoy it. So
Yeah, and you're right, because we tend to have, especially me, this is a huge me problem. Like, I get hyper focused on little tiny aspects of the game, right? And I zero in on something that I think is an issue, and I will just attack it until something happens. And as we read through comments on the Discord, it's where people are like, you know what, it's really not that big of a deal, and it kind of takes you back, and you're like, you're right, it probably isn't that big of a deal, but it's just nice to have people that you can talk with and be like, hey, here's a different perspective. Because we tend to see things like the same way. Sometimes we lose the forest through the trees, or however the saying goes. So I mean, it's like the community is the backbone of the show, and the show wouldn't be here without the community, hands down. So thank you to everyone, and here's to 100 more, like Tiffany says. All right. So now that all that, what?
yeah,
That's 2 years, man. That's a 2-year commitment.
Yeah. So now that all that mushy stuff is out of the way, you guys want to talk about war chests and RNG? Because I kind of want to talk about war chests and RNG. I won't make this a long topic, because we also have a game to get to. Like, I prepared a game.
But this is a long topic, because
there's so much that needs to be talked about on it.
Well, I will give the Cliff Notes version of it, and if you guys want to add on to it, you can add on to it. All right.
I won't.
Right.
They need to be
you don't have to if you don't want to. I think this is an important topic, because this has been getting a lot of traction on Reddit. It's been getting a lot of traction on our Discord, and it's something that we brought up during the PTS.
This isn't isolated, Stephen, to a single experience?
this is my experience. and-
This
And-
is, I'm pretty sure this is everyone's experience, whether or
Cool,
not
cool,
they
cool.
choose to admit it.
Right.
This is what everybody goes through, and there's no amount of sugarcoating it or spinning it or saying that this is how it's supposed to be done is going to work for this, because this is wrong on so many different levels. The first
Okay.
level being
Mike's like, I'm taking over and going for it.
That's fine. If you want to risk it, that's fine. Like I could take a breather.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to take over
Complete
right now. Go over.
without
oh, it's
salty Mike.
so terrible. It's so bad.
So
Go
just
ahead,
to break
Steve.
it down,
Tell us how it is.
this is my
So let me tell you how bad this is. Steven, you go. I'll just put my foot in my mouth. You go. But
Okay,
don't say
that's
it
fine.
wrong.
Take
'cause
your
it's
foot out of
important.
your- That's weird that you're sticking your feet in your mouth. The war chests are not a player friendly system currently. The way
Nope.
the way it stands with having a chance to spawn or to get gear from the other javelins is not a player friendly system, and it frustrates me.
Let's
a
let's
lot-
just let's just break that piece down just for a second, okay? Because between the four of us, we have logged probably 20 seconds on the other three javelins we have in our arsenal combined. So
I
that's
mean,
12 javelins, right? Devon, I don't think you've ever even equipped any javelin other than the interceptor.
I have, but then I just delete them because they're of no use. So
Because they're of no use, and that's
and they're
how
not
you
fun to
choose
me, right?
play.
It's not fun for me.
Exactly. And so when you go in and you open this chest and it's, oh, here's a shock mace, and you're like, I didn't know I could use a shock mace. Well, here's the thing, you can't use a shock mace.
Yeah. I mean, I have to go and make a ranger, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have all the gear for it, and then I play it for a little
Right.
while, and I'm like, oh, this is all right, but I'd rather be playing my interceptor with good gear. But you know,
But this isn't even the point about getting good gear. This is the point of getting something that is at least applicable to what you are doing. Okay? So we just spent, Steve, how long does a GM3 run take us?
I mean, with the new, you could probably do it in about 25 minutes. I mean,
Okay. And granted, crystals can be earned different ways. You can get crystals in ways that don't include you having to go through the cataclysm, right?
not
It's
in a
just a
significant
longer
amount,
haul.
though.
Not a significant amount. You can do story missions, which grant you a major crystal and some minor crystals. Okay, so you can build it up that way. Just for those who are saying, well, this isn't the only way to get crystals. Okay, so you go in, you run this activity, 25 minutes. There's an investment there, right? Okay, so you go and you go cash in these crystals for the war chest, and you get a piece of gear that doesn't even go to the thing that you are doing. That is, my opinion, just a kick in the mouth saying what you did wasn't valuable. I'm going to give you this thing that you don't even use, right?
Mhm.
And we can lay aside that the inscriptions aren't good, the rolls aren't good. We can lay that aside for now. Just that small piece of, here's something that you don't even use as a reward for the activity, the high end level activity that you just did. That's wrong. It's
but I'll play devil's advocate, Mike.
well,
But
but and then I'll say shut up because I don't
well,
care.
that's fine. But this, I mean, and this is the conversation that it's happening. But Mike, now you have an opportunity to play a different javelin, and that's what BioWare wants you to do. They want you to branch out to different javelins. So now you can do that when you wouldn't have done that before.
It doesn't
And
make
you
me
know
want to
what?
do that, though.
No, still nobody does it. Please, community, answer this for us. Really, if you could break it down between your main and the other three javelins, give us percentages. Tweet those out for us. Let us know what your percentages are of actually playing the other javelins. I would be hard pressed to find someone who plays 25 25 25 25.
So-
I don't know if it exists, and I would like to be proven wrong if possible, but I don't know if it's out there.
So I gotta step in right now and just say that I'm somebody that switches between like 3 javelins on a regular basis. The only javelin I don't play very much, if at all, is the interceptor. I probably the ones I play the most are probably Storm and Colossus, with Colossus just being the one I use more, just ever so slightly than the Storm. And then the Ranger, it's kind of like when the mood strikes. But I still use all 3 of them. That being said, like from what I understand about the way how the war chest and the RNG works, is that at any given time, when you go to open any of the war chests, you basically have a 3 and 4 chance that you're getting something that you don't, well, that isn't for the javelin that you have equipped. And I feel like the math and the numbers on that should be tweaked in favor of the one that you have currently equipped, because if the odds are inherently and to the extent that they are not in your favor, basically a 75% chance that you're not going to get something for the javelin you have equipped. Like, as somebody on Twitter, and I think it might even been you guys, pointed out, that you're basically just better off equipping the javelin you hate, and then just you'll probably end
You
up
have
with
a higher
something for the javelin
chance,
you
yeah,
want.
of getting
I
stuff
mean,
for
like,
the other javelin.
I like with when I play Storm and the Colossus, like it works out for me because like I'm getting something for one of them at least half the time. But even switching between these javelins, the consistency in not getting something for the javelin that you have equipped is insane, because it doesn't matter if I am on my Storm. Like if I'm on my Colossus, I'm not going to get something for my Colossus. If I'm on my Storm, I'm not going to get something for my Storm. If I'm on my Ranger, I'm not going to get something for my Ranger. Okay, I have a bunch of things for the Interceptor now, but
You just
I
got to
don't like
delete
playing
that
as the
stuff.
Interceptor.
Yeah.
And just real quick, I want to make it very clear to everyone that's listening. Like, what do I want to make clear? There's a lot of things that I want to make clear. Okay, so the swapping off to a different javelin, I'm sure that isn't the case, that you'll actually get stuff if you swap off. However, in my experience, it's been exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I swap off to a different javelin, I will get more items for my Storm. I know that's probably not written into the code, okay? Because I mean, we have a very small sample size, but my very small sample size says that yes, if I switch to a Ranger, I will get more Storm items. Okay, so whether the RNG is broken, whether there's something in there that's preventing you from getting those items, it's not a good. It's just not good. It's not player friendly, especially because we just talked about all the pickup groups that you're getting into that are messing up the puzzle. So you're already hampering your crystal, out
Mm-hmm.
how frequently and how many crystals you get. So that's already being hampered. Like, it's fine if you run with a group, then you can get a ton of crystals, because by the end of this event, you'll probably be getting, I don't know, 15,000 crystals, maybe more by the time
Well,
that
I
the
mean,
whole event is
yeah,
done.
it depends on have they maxed them out like they did in the PTS, where if you got over 10 million, like it would just max out the amount of crystals you could get at 10
No,
million.
from what I've been seeing, people have been getting over 10,000 crystals on higher runs. However, so it's just kind of stacking things on top of each other, because now at first we thought that they were just going to keep the chests in there, because we had the melee chest that was in there at first, then we had the gear chest, and then this week we have the support chest, but they took the gear chest out. So those things are going away. So you're not going to be able to go and get those gear pieces anymore unless they bring it back in some form or fashion. I just assumed, because there's extra slots in that seasonal store, that they were just going to keep everything in there, and then you could finally go in there and pick and choose. But that so far is not.
Are you sure the chests are gone?
Yeah.
The gear chests are gone from the store, and we
Yes.
don't know when they're going to come back. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Not 100% sure. But because there's only a 10% chance to get a legendary, because let's face it, when you go into the war chest, you're not equipping the masterworks, right? Because for people that have been playing
There's
since the
no
beginning,
value.
you've been equipped in legendaries anyway. So anytime that you
Except for the support piece, because
Right.
now we have Masterworks, right? So once
Yeah.
that piece got in, you know what, and before everyone says, well, you can get a guaranteed specific javelin war chest for after you complete the run, right? Because we know that's part of the weekly prize, right? That's part of the weekly rewards. Before you all say that, remember that the object and the point of this is to create a maximum roll in order to get your javelin tuned exactly how you want it to be. So when you get items, and that's where this whole thing is predicated for me. When you get items that aren't for a build that you're working on, and it just gums up your inventory because it takes up space, and it's just another piece to sift through, it the messages are being confused on what they want us to do in the game. If they want us to play other javelins in the game, that's great. They need to say that. But we have been told that we're supposed to min max our rolls and tweak and find the right, best, perfect gear to do all these runs to play off the inscriptions.
Play how we
the-
want to
I'm
play.
sorry, well, but also to play off the inversions that are given to us weekly. If we're not getting rolls that speak to that on equipment and pieces that can be equipped to our javelins, something's broken. And like Steve said, not in the code that's broken, something fundamentally in the game is broken.
Well, I mean, it's in the code, but it's not purposely in there. They're not. I'm guessing they're not maliciously trying to do this. I mean, there
Well,
was.
but the code is built on how they want us to play, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
it's
percentage-
complicated, and like they've said, it's not something that can just easily change when they've talked about changing the RNG and different things. There's a lot of things that go into there and affect it, But one thing from the opposite side, on our Discord, we've been talking about this, and I'm having a brain fart, and I cannot remember the community member who basically kind of did devil's advocate. Not really, but just basically the way I see it is, was it Josh? Oh, that's right.
Probably.
Yeah, where he's like, they're giving us a consolidated place where you can go and get this instead of having to worry about trying to find it in drops randomly out there. They're like, you can go back in here, and they're giving you an easy way to just, I mean, yes, there's problems with the way that we get it, but they're still giving you a consolidated, simple way of, okay, I'm trying to get this new piece of gear. Let me go try and get the war chest and go through them and just keep going through them and scrapping and getting rid of the stuff that I don't use and hoping for the piece that I want. So they're giving you that way, to actually do that. So in one sense, they're trying to help you out so that it's an easier way to try and find that gear instead of just hoping you get the drops. So I mean that's good on their side, but with that comes all the other issues that we've talked about. And I mean I would hope in other games, like, I mean, in my experience, when you're playing new content and new expansions, that gear is set to drop at a higher rate anyways in those other games, so that you're more likely to get that stuff than you would be the older gear and pieces. And so I mean, because I was like really frustrated, I'm like, this is the only place you can get this from, and you can't get it anywhere else. And it was just like, oh, this is really annoying, because it's frustrating to get stuff, because I don't like it, I only play the Interceptor, and so whenever I get into that other stuff, I just scrap it, and it's like I just wasted my time. And I felt like, they're not valuing my time, but that was just the way I'm looking at it, and other people are looking at it. But Josh pointed out a different way to look at things, which is good, and that's what we talked about in our community, is being able to discuss different viewpoints.
Yeah, it's great.
Max, like, I'm still hate this.
I'm still on this because
But I think one of the
because there's another level to this. Okay, now I'll jump on Josh's wagon here in a bit, and it would be easy to jump on his wagon if, and the other level to this is, if when we do scrap this stuff, if the things that we get from scrapping were able to be used in a productive manner. Okay, so if there was a crafting system that was worth a little bit more incentive to craft stuff, then I would say, yeah, it would be worth it. That time investment to rewards would be good, but it's just not there right now, and so it feels a little bit one-sided. And I think that's all I have to say about that.
And I think, and I will because I know someone will say, well, if you get everything that you want right away, then you won't play the game. So none of us are asking for us to get legendary drops every time. I think the best way to fix this system, and this is a simple fix. This will take like 37 minutes for one developer to do this on a Tuesday. Okay. Javelin specific war chests. Okay. Right now, legendaries are dropping at about a 10% rate, according to all the data that people have been collecting on Twitter and on the interwebs, right? So you have a 10% chance to get a legendary. I think that rate is okay if it is javelin specific. Now we know that even though that is like, for every 10,000 crystals you spend, you're going to get one legendary. The chances of that legendary having good inscriptions is very, very low right now.
Yep.
There is such a wide range of inscriptions pools for legendary weapons that you can get one that is a god roll, or you can get one that, allows you to pick up items in a very large pickup radius. I think that's okay because you still have incentive to go out and grind for crystals and play the Cataclysm, knowing that you have a 10% chance to get a legendary, and you probably have a 10% chance of that 10% chance, like a 0.1% chance of actually getting a god roll item that you want. Okay. Then on top of that, maybe you got a god roll item that gives you damage. Maybe you need one that also gives you elemental damage, or maybe you need one that also gives you some other bonus perk, right? So you can still be grinding for multiple legendary weapons to increase your build. So you have more than one build.
Yep.
So you're not just playing the same thing over and over again, because that is what you have and that's what you have to work with. So
because that's the part that gets redundant is when you get gear that you can't use and you're playing the same stuff over and over. If you're getting gear that changes your build at the rate that you're talking about, Steve, at a 10%, or maybe in this case like at a 1% rate, that's still something. I'm still at least equipping it and seeing what it's going to do instead of just scrapping it. Like I never thought I'd scrap a legend
of you. And currently it just seems like someone grabbed a bag of like baby carrots and just chucked them out in a yard somewhere,
shoved them up your nose and
go to find them. I mean, we have the chest, like Josh said, we have a consolidated space to do that. And I think that's a good system that, hey, go here, get this thing. It's just there's small things that I don't know if they're afraid, like again, there's this fear that, oh, if you get everything, you're going to stop playing. It's like, no, we have 6 weeks to collect the best gear possible, because this is the only place that's going to drop level 80 legendaries. It's not going to drop anywhere else. We're going to play that content. We're going to get the crystals. You just have to let us do that. Trust your players enough to not abandon you. Because right now I see a lot of frustration on Reddit. I don't go to Reddit often, but I see a lot of frustration and a lot of talk about the war chest and how they are, turning people off from what I think is a great event. Because you know what? If we were back in 1991 and if this was just a mode that you could play and there wasn't score involved or there wasn't timing involved, like the Cataclysm is fun. I enjoy the story of the Cataclysm. I think it's going to be interesting to see when we find out Dr. Harkin really isn't human and he's some other being from a different planet. That's all speculation. I don't know if any of that's confirmed. I think the animations and the cinematics are fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I think
absolutely.
weapons that we're going to be able to get are amazing. Like, I'm glad for the new stuff that we're getting. Like, it's a fun event in a fun play space, but there's this cloud of, okay, but if this is the reason why we're doing this event, like, let your players enjoy it. Don't take away the chance for me to get that gear, because you know what? That Steam vent, which, people are using to dominate leaderboards at Grandmaster 3, now for this week, no one can even roll to get that if you're a Storm main. It just can't happen, and it's not going to drop anywhere else. So you missed out on that. It's like, sorry you didn't play in week 2 of the Cataclysm, but now you don't have access to that weapon. And I'm sure maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. I don't know. But let us enjoy the systems. Like, don't hamstring the people that are playing the game, right? We're here because we want to be. We enjoy the game. Like, don't punish us.
So
I said everything there is to say, JD. That's how thorough of a point that we made.
I had a weird moment where all the audio went out, and I was like, oh my god, like I could see your mouth moving. No, but I was gonna say,
his mouth is always moving. It never stops.
the fundamental problem that I keep seeing with a lot of the new stuff in Anthem is that, and Mike kind of hit upon it earlier. I don't always feel like the chain, well, like, especially right now, I don't feel like Anthem properly respects the player's time. I don't. Like, especially like, I mean, I know there are other people that can like run and like, they have a group ready to go when they get off of work, or they have, they have time to like go and make several runs in a night. I've had very little time, and that's not BioWare's fault or Anthem's fault. But the whole thing is that, I've only really had enough time to make sure that I get enough major crystals for the armor that week, which is like, I'm a big cosmetics guy. I want that armor. But aside from that, I don't have time to make a lot of runs to like really kind of like really start getting at the war chest in any way, shape, or form. I've maybe only gotten maybe 10 or 15 war chests open. And again, going back to that, like, I just have not gotten anything for the javelin that I had equipped at the time. And that kills me, because that means that if I want to get something, I have to keep playing more and continue at that rate of like not getting the stuff that I want, and I'm already limited to like just a couple of nights. So it's like, I'm really enjoying the Cataclysm content. I'm really enjoying playing it, but I don't feel like I'm getting out what I'm able to put into it. I don't feel like my time is being rewarded, because out of those 10 or 15 things, like, I have yet to get a legendary. I guess we're back to this again. I have yet to get a legendary from a war chest. I mean, I've gotten plenty of, I've gotten like 3 or 4 or 5 legendaries playing the Cataclysm content, but no legendaries from any of the war chests yet. And a lot of the stuff in the war chest, especially the gear one that I probably tried the most last week, I didn't really get anything particularly good. So like, yeah, like Anthem is like a really good game with good custom in terms of its customization. Like, there are so many ways to play. The combat is fun, and the roles can really like accentuate a play style. But the whole thing is like, because of how limited these things are, you're basically forced to choose with having a really good build or having your ideal play style. And like, I want to be able to have both. If you can have that frequency go up, and get like more like better gear, like
More better.
you should be able to have both, especially in a game where the customization is this good. Why can I not have an optimized version of my preferred play style, instead of basically being the Colossus that spams Rubidium Furnace, even though I hate it with a passion?
Yeah. And it's something that hopefully they'll take feedback, because really that's all we can hope for them to do, is take the feedback that we put in. So if you do have feedback, go to answers.ea.com or their forums, put it in there. Hopefully they'll see it. And you know what? If you like this system, then that's fine. I'm glad you're enjoying it if you do. And if you don't like the system, let them know, and hopefully they will listen. All right, that's enough ranting. Mike, that is the most I've ever heard you talk passionately about a subject in this game. I am very impressed. So I've got a game, and this is a game that I think we'll have a lot of fun with this. So I went and I pulled 6 quotes from old shows that we did all the way back from episode 44. I started at episode 44. And I'm going to read these off. I'm not going to tell you who said them, but then Devon, Mike, and JD, you guys are going to guess who said that. And if you guys get it right, I will give each of you a point. Sound good?
I like it.
Yeah. Chat, you can also play along with this. All right.
Phaedron can't play. He cheats.
It's true. Phaedron is a cheater. Hold on. My screen is wigging out here. What are you doing, screen? Why? Okay. So this is the first quote, and you want me to tell you what episode this is from?
Nope.
No.
I mean, that won't help us.
All right, so here is the quote, and I won't say it in the voice of the person that said it. I'll say it in my normal voice. My mom got into it too, and we were like so amazed at our mom because she was so much better at it than we were, end quote. So what do you guys
Devon.
think? Said that. Devon, who was it?
Mike.
So you're gonna vote Mike. Mike, who do you think that was?
I think that was Steve. Actually, wait. Read the quote again.
My mom got in on it too, and we were like so amazed at our mom because she was so much better at it than we were. End quote.
Are you one of the choices, or is it
Yeah.
just myself?
No, all four of us. All four of
All
us.
four of
could-
us are?
Yep.
I think it was JD.
Yeah, it might even be JD.
All right, JD.
That sounds like something I would say. It,
Okay,
it
that-
makes sense.
You can't
if I'm
vote for
remembering.
yourself.
I'm
You can
voting
vote
for
for
myself.
Devon, are you changing your answer? You sounded like you were going to change your answer.
Nope, I'm gonna stick to it.
Final answer.
All right.
Win or
So that
lose.
that was actually JD on episode 44 of the podcast. Said that about his mom because he was talking about his brother and they got a PlayStation and apparently your
Yeah.
mom was good at the PlayStation.
It's coming
Oh,
back
yeah,
to me now.
She was amazing at Spyro. So
Episode 44. All right. So next quote. So quote. So maybe that's why you have to go to that school. The community college graduates have to stay away from the storm. End quote.
Is this the quote?
That's the
I'll say it again.
quote.
Quote.
That's the
So
quote?
maybe that's why you have to go to school. You community college graduates have to stay away from the storm. End quote.
That's 100% Mike.
that sounds like Mike.
No, I don't talk like that. I think Devin said that.
All right. So that was actually Mike. So I'm going to give.
I said that?
Yes. You
So
should
this was
listen to
after
some of the
PAX.
things you say.
This was
Yeah.
after what?
It was after PAX. We learned that Ciphers had a special school that they went to, and we were speculating that you had to go to a special school in order to use the anthem. And you thought that because the storm had seals on it, that you have to go to schools and that college graduates could not use the storm. So that was from Mike. All right. So next quote. That was episode 52. Okay. Quote.
Odd.
Over on our Discord, you should go there if you haven't. Everyone was welcome, by the way. We were chatting about the fact that we like that the devs are posting more pictures of general things here. So doing this, and so you should do that. End quote.
Steven. It's Steven.
Yeah, that's Steve.
I'm also gonna say Steve.
Okay, that is incorrect. That was actually Devon, and he was talking about Ben Irving posting pictures of
Of the
kitchens
kitchens. Yep.
over on Twitter.
See
I
how
should take
easy
away-
you are to be thrown off on your course.
No.
You have a
right.
lifeline, which is just call CAGs.
That was
Interesting.
episode 57. So that was a long time ago. All right. So next quote. Quote, would it be too obtrusive to have like a giant pillar of green and orange light shining up into the air so you don't miss that thing? End quote.
That's Steven.
That's Steve. Or
Mm,
Devin.
I'm gonna say
Mostly
Mike.
Steve. You'd be wrong.
I never said that. I remember. Said. So that was actually me. So I'm gonna give a point to who said me? That was Devon and
Mike.
Yeah.
and Mike. So we were talking about loot when this was right after they showed, this is after EA Play. We got to see the full gameplay demo for the 20 minutes when they were running through everything. And we saw loot drops that were actually rolling around at the time. And we were like, hey, they just missed that legendary.
Yep.
They should have a shining beam of light mark where they have their drops.
Because, you know,
Weird.
Diablo does a great job of that.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? We have shining beam of light on our drops
Hey,
now.
they do.
Next one. This one's pretty good. Quote, I'll just put a piece of tape over it and it'll be fine. End quote.
I'm gonna say Devon.
Tape.
No, that was me.
Tape
That's
over it.
that's the way
I
I
feel-
fix stuff.
I could hear Devon saying this like as a joke, like in response to something like, I'll just put a piece of tape on it, it'll be fine.
Devin
All right.
doesn't have a sense of humor. He wouldn't say that.
That is true. If it says Devon, you say,
Steven.
okay, and Mike, you said you, right?
I did say
Maybe.
me.
I'm gonna be mad if
Michael
I
is
said
correct. Michael was
It is
correct in
Mike.
guessing himself. So maybe you do actually remember everything that you've ever said. So this was on episode 67. We were talking about cosmetic items, and if you did not buy the game from GameStop, you wouldn't get that cosmetic item. And we were like, oh, maybe you're just gonna have this thing open all the time. You'll never be able to see it. And Mike's like, oh, you could just put a piece of tape over it and you'll be fine, because that's Mike's humor. All right, last one. You guys ready? This is actually a two-parter. So I'll give you one person will say something in here. So that'll eliminate one person. But you'll have to guess the second part. All right, quote. Well, technically, they don't have anything up on the D-pad. And then another person says, your ultimate? That was me. And then this person says, is it?
That's me.
That's Devon and Steven.
Katie, what's your guess?
It honestly kind of just sounds like me forgetting something really obvious and simple. So I'm gonna say me.
All right. So that was actually me and Devon talking.
Oh.
So Devon will get 3 points. Mike gets 4 points. So Mike is the winner of the game. So this was actually episode 74 of the podcast. So I actually, after listening, like scrubbing through things and finding this stuff, I actually went back and listened to episode 74. This is right after the game. I think it was about a week after the game has been released. If you have time, or if you are super bored and like don't mind listening to us for another hour, go download episode 74 and give it a listen. These are our impressions right after the game has been released. And I think like listening to it, I think we were pretty spot on in the observations that we were making. Like right after a game gets released, it's really easy to have like the rose-colored glasses, and you kind of see things of like, oh man, everything is like perfect here. Like I think we were pretty spot on with our deductions of the game or our criticisms of it. Go give it a listen. Tell me what you think, if we were wrong or if we were off, and then compare it to where we are now, like 36 episodes after that. Because I think we were pretty spot on. Like not many people get it spot on, but I think we got it really spot on. Devon, yes, your ultimate is tied to up on the D-pad. How you forgot that, I don't know. You had played the game for like 69 hours at that point.
I was tired, all right?
I'm surprised you guys remember.
I don't even think about it. You just do it. Yeah, that's what I do.
Just do it. You just do it.
And I remember like up on the D-pad, that was one criticism that we had of the game from like right after the demo. We're like, how can you put this on up on the D-pad? Because we were speculating of having to take your thumb off of the stick to go hit up on the D-pad, but it turns out like, it doesn't really matter.
Double
I mean,
bumper
I'm still not entirely sure like why, like especially like in other BioWare games where it's always like one ability on left bumper, one ability on right bumper, and then a more powerful ability that you can't use as often is left and right bumper together. Like I don't know why that all of a sudden changed to like up on the D-pad. So I'm still a little miffed about that.
That one keeps you up at night, JD?
Among many other disturbing things, but yes.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's see. I think that will end episode 100. Yeah, this will be the first and last time we open and end episode 100. There it goes. All right, see you later, episode 100.
Woohoo!
If you want to support us, do that at patreon.com/freelancer codex. Write us emails, send us some voice messages. We'll play them on the show. If you want to yell at Phaedron for sticking a microphone in his baby's mouth at a young age, then you can do that off on the show.
I'm sure he didn't really do that. Yeah.
No, I'm sure he did. Until episode 200, this is the Codex, and there's a Shaper Storm on the horizon. I think we'll see you on the other side, maybe.
Indeed, we will.
Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at Freelancer Codex, on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or through email at freelancercodex@gmail.com. Join the Discord through the link provided at freelancercodex.com. Our show will always be free, but if you'd like to send some support, you may do so at patreon.com/freelancercodex. Our individual Twitter handles are at Steven Lamson, at mlamson25, at Neverfear, and at JD the Joke Dealer. Freelancers, it's time to get to work.